Welcome to The Business Coach, a show in which you out help entrepreneurs better their businesses. My name is Ian Dennis, and tonight on the show, we're going to demystify some of the situations that we are in as Kenyans. I know probably you've lost your job, I know you're an entrepreneur and you're probably having some difficulties, and you're trying to figure out how exactly can you go through these particular tough times. Tonight, I'll be having Waceke Nduati, who's a wealth coach, an author, and the founder of Centonomy. But before we get to kickstart the show, here's a bio.
It doesn't matter if you're in business, it doesn't matter if you're in a job. We're going to go through 3 responses during this time: fear, caution, and adaptability.
Waceke Nduati is the founder of Centonomy Limited, an entrepreneurship coach and author. She founded Centonomy Limited in 2009 with an aim of helping people interact with money more wholesomely through their training in entrepreneurship and personal finance. She has a decade worth of experience in the financial industry that expands into stock market, portfolio management, unit trust management, investment research, and accounting. Waceke has also authored a book, Making Sense, that's right now in stores. She holds a master's in banking and finance and has been through the Stanford Seed program. Hi Waceke.
Hi Ian.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show. So excited to be here.
I like your background, so many arts. I see you're supporting a lot of Kenyan entrepreneurs and artists.
Oh yes, I love Kenyan art. My husband especially likes Kenyan art. So a lot of these collections that you see behind are because of him.
Interesting. So as a country, as the whole world, you're facing unprecedented times. And I know you are steering the ship of Centonomy at this particular period of time. How exactly is it?
Yeah. Well, I think everybody has been affected. All businesses in some way have been affected. And it is a very, very challenging time because businesses are finding themselves with fewer resources. We are used to making plans and understanding, this is how many customers we'll have, this is how to structure the business for those customers, and now things have been thrown all over the place. So a lot of us are very, very confused. But it has also created opportunity to quickly do some invention, adapting things, innovation, things that people have been thinking about. Like in Centonomy, Ian, we had to go online in one day because we do run classes and the classes were physical. And when the government announced the directive that people should not gather, we had to move everything online. So as much online had been in our plans, but I guess we had not acted as fast. So sometimes being in this situation where you're forced to do things a certain way makes you act very quickly. But it is challenging. We are feeling, a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs are feeling a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. We are worried about our employees. We are worried about how to keep the ship going. But I think it's a reset button where all of us in business can take stock of what was not working anyway and how do I start adapting, because we will come out of COVID,
yes,
but I don't think it will be the same operating environment that was there before.
I'd like to find out how, because primarily you as a business, because you do a lot of trainings, you had to go online, but how's the reception been for your clients? Have they been receptive to this?
They were very receptive. In the beginning, there was a bit of convincing them that they're still going to get value. So what you find, and we teach about in our Centonomy Entrepreneur Program, we really teach about the entrepreneurial mindset. And we realized that's the mindset we had to actually give people and our clients so that they can understand that even if we go online and they're not coming to a physical classroom and seeing a physical trainer, they are still getting value. But what we made sure is that we made the sessions live so that when we're actually doing the sessions and the classes every day, people are actually getting a live interaction with the trainer. But it did take a bit of convincing, and some people were like, no, I'll wait. But how long will you actually wait? But now they are receptive and they've enjoyed the experience.
An interesting thing that I came to find about is that you're no longer the CEO at Centonomy, despite you being the founder. You decided to let go of that particular mantle.
Yes.
After 10 years.
Yes.
What exactly informed that particular decision whereby you let go of your baby?
First of all, it's a very good question. And Ian, after 10 years, Centonomy, we celebrated 10 years last year. And I went through my journals. I'm one of those people who's in the habit of writing my ideas, thoughts, vents. Even when I'm venting, I write it down. And I saw in 2012, I had written, "This business must run without me." So it was not by accident that I left the helm of Centonomy as CEO, because I think I had set an intention, and I think it came from the frustrations of my first business. Centonomy is not my first business. I have also done other businesses and failed. So failure is also something we should never be scared about. But I think one of the reasons I burnt out in one of those businesses was I was everything. And I think this is something many entrepreneurs find themselves. You're the messenger, you're the accountant, you're the one looking for clients, you're the one managing employees, you're everything. So when I started Centonomy, because of that experience, I did set an intention that it's not me who's going to be able to do everything, and in fact, the company should run without me. Secondly, it's also realizing after that time, given where we want to go, what is the best use of my time as Waceke? Where the company had reached also needed somebody who's very strong operationally, very good at managing people. And I'm a creative. I like sitting down, I like listening to people, and I like creating content. And the company still needs that strength, but it had grown to a size that it also needs somebody who's good and thrives in operations. So I also had to admit to myself, operations is not my strength. And even in our courses, we tell entrepreneurs at some point, be very realistic with yourself, because we as entrepreneurs, Ian, by the way, we like doing everything because it boosts our ego.
Yes.
And we're very fearful of letting other people in. Yeah. So, but I think when you have an aha moment to yourself and you're very realistic with yourself that says, I am good at this, but I am not good at that. I strongly believe in letting other people shine, and along the way, building a team and a culture that enables people to even become better than you. So that's how a business grows. And as they become and prove themselves in the role, give them the opportunity to shine.
So all businesses are facing this unprecedented period of time. So, and you're not actively involved in the day-to-day, but what mantle have you taken to ensure that the ship, as the leader of that particular business, you're still steering your ship quite well?
Okay. What this has taught me, has taught many other businesses, there's this word business people don't like, but it has become so important: structures. And one of the things in our course, Centonomy Entrepreneur class, we always go back and tell people structures. Structures are simply making sure your processes are running. And I think a lot of the times entrepreneurs find themselves that everything is in their heads. Now we have faced this time when our teams are working from home. Structures means that people actually know what they are doing and the results they're supposed to achieve, even if they are not physically in front of you. So that is what has kept the ship moving, that people actually know what to do. We had structures in terms of this is when the classes run. So even when we moved online, the classes run on the same timetable. So I think it has just really taught us the value of having structures, because when structures are there, when job descriptions are there, when people know what to do, when there's been a bit of financial planning, even if you're not coming into the office, you can actually work differently.
An interesting thing is that about you is that you're also an author. You wrote a book, Making Sense. What exactly informed that, and what exactly is the book about?
Well, the story of Centonomy started with my realization about money. So Ian, I was working, I was earning a decent salary, and one day I decided to go into business. And shock on me that when I went into business, clients did not come running to me as quickly as I thought. So you're left suddenly with no money, and I realized the value of things like 300 shillings. 300 shillings in a year per day in a year is over 100,000 shillings. So that was my aha moment. And as we've grown, Centonomy, as we've had people in class, the Centonomy 101 program is our flagship program, that then people come and learn how to manage their money, their relationship with their money, and how to save and invest so that they can create wealth. Over time, we've had fantastic stories of people coming out of how they've transformed their own journey with money. So you find that a lot of books have been written on a very theoretical level. So I used this opportunity to just write true stories about Kenyans. We're not writing about people in another country, the things they have faced, whether it's with debt, whether it's spending too much money, whether it's money in a relationship, whether it's knowing where to invest and save, whether it's a university student who's figuring out how do I turn my hobby into something that can make money. So we just tracked stories. There's my story and stories of 3 other people, and made them a learning tool. So the book is basically a storybook about money, which also gives tools and a workbook of how people can work through their money. So it's a very simple to use tool for people to actually just sit by themselves and actually change their relationship with money.
All right, I know you worked as a stockbroker analyst for quite a while, and then you decided to set out and start up your own stock brokerage firm. But you failed, or rather you decided to start it after 2 years. What are some of those lessons you learned from your first failed business?
Okay, all right. First of all, understand that you don't really need as many things as you think you do. So my learning from the stockbrokerage firm was I rushed to set up the infrastructure I'd seen in operation where I worked, but I worked for a big company. But I'd seen them have an office, I'd seen them have a research analyst, and I sort of went to set up the same infrastructure, which was very expensive to do. But later, the stock market took a fall, and we didn't have the revenue coming in to sustain that infrastructure, even having an office and having all those people working there. That is when I realized that with a laptop, an internet connection, and a way to move around, the same business can still work. Yeah. I was very scared of hiring, because I thought if you hire people, you have to pay them a lot of money, they're expensive. Because remember, I was coming from the corporate world, this is what I had seen. But over time, I have also learned that even interns can start. You can start with interns who come and help you with certain things. As I mentioned before, the mistake was trying to be everything to everyone. And now I've learned, just try and focus on as much as possible on what drives the business forward, which many times is what the entrepreneur is actually strong at.
All right.
I learned about pricing. I think a lot of, and this is not just in my failed business, even in Centonomy, when we are starting out a business, we don't know how to value ourselves.
Yeah.
So we are very sometimes desperate to get the client. So we want to put a very low price. But once you put a low price in, it's very hard to move up. So you're better off doing the harder work of building value and convincing somebody to pay you the right price than starting cheap, hoping that you can move up later. Yeah.
Quite an interesting conversation there I'm having with Waceke. After the break, we're going to explore some scenarios that you as Kenyans are facing at this particular period of time in regards to debt, with regards to financial management, and with regards to business. So don't touch that dial, but keep it right here on The Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their business.